A routine traffic stop that turned deadly is under review again this morning. New evidence highlights inconsistencies in police officers' account of what happened. Elaine Quijano joins us with the new details and why the victim's family thinks the death was more than an accident. Elaine, good morning.
Good morning. We first told you the story of Charles Eimers back in May when a cell phone video of the incident seemed to contradict police accounts. As in other cases involving allegations of excessive force by police, a grand jury called to look into Eimers' death chose not to indict the officers. Well, now a new video is raising questions about what that grand jury did not see. On Thanksgiving morning last year, Charles Eimers drove into Key West planning a dream retirement. But not long after arriving, he was pulled over by police for illegally changing lanes.
Please wait in your car. I'll be back with you in just a moment.
For reasons no one knows, Eimers fled.
Just ran the red light for First Street.
Running red lights as he drove through town. Officers caught up with him on this beach. Police told paramedics that Eimers left his vehicle, ran, and collapsed on the beach. He went into a coma. His family took him off life support a week later. But in May, CBS News obtained this video. In it, Eimers does not collapse. He surrenders and is surrounded by police. His son Trevor believes the family was lied to and worse.
I believe that my father was asphyxiated on the beach in Key West by the officers involved that day.
The medical examiner said the cause of death was lack of oxygen to the brain, but that it was due to Eimers' pre-existing heart condition and the struggle with police. The death was ruled an accident. In the autopsy, the medical examiner also considered the results of a Florida Department of Law Enforcement investigation into the incident, which determined Eimers' face was not forced into the sand and that initial photographs showed only a light dusting of sand on his face.
We got to be clear. All they did, the only level of force that was used in this particular case was they attempted to handcuff. It was handcuffing someone. That's all they did.
The Eimers family still believed they were being lied to. They filed a wrongful death lawsuit and began taking video depositions of the officers.
Did you see any sand on his face?
No.
Ever?
No.
Did you ever see his face?
Yes.
His face was not face down, his face was to the side.
When you were at the scene with Mr. Eimers, was he bleeding?
Not that I didn't see any obvious signs of bleeding.
But not long after taking that sworn testimony, Eimers' attorneys discovered a new video with this close-up of Eimers after he lost consciousness, covered in sand and bleeding from his right ear. This is Officer Nicholas Galbo standing here, the same officer who said under oath that he never saw sand on Eimers' face. FDLE and the Key West Police had the contact information to obtain this video for over a year, but never got it. Which means that instead of seeing this, the medical examiner and grand jury saw this, and this, and this. Eimers' attorney, Darren Horan, got the phone number after FDLE's 7-month investigation was complete. How hard was it for you to get in touch with the person?
One phone call.
That's it?
That's it.
What does that tell you?
It tells me that they didn't try too hard to contact that person.
Why wasn't your department able to get a hold of that video?
FDLE was the agency that was responsible for the investigation into this case. So, that's probably a question that's better posed to them.
FDLE denied our request for an on-camera interview, but said in a statement they are reviewing this new piece of evidence and that they were not aware the video existed. A video that shows the police officer's stories don't match up.
He was breathing when we stood him up.
He was breathing when you stood him up?
He was still fighting and talking. We didn't get very far before we were told that he was out.
Did you ever see them trying to stand him up?
No.
It's unclear which account is accurate. The camera panned away. And another video that could have shown exactly what happened is missing. Officer Gary Lee Levette, seen here, activated his taser during the arrest. The device began its own audio and video recording. But when that video was shown to the grand jury, it only showed what happened after the arrest. The actual critical moment of the arrest is the only thing you don't have on that audio-video recording, and I wonder why that is.
Yeah, it's because he didn't turn it on. There's no other explanation.
Yet according to FDLE's report, Officer Levette's taser automatically began a video and audio recording that recorded during and after the event. As part of the civil lawsuit, Haran alleges that part of the video was destroyed. Is it possible that Mr. Eimers' death was an accident?
It's always possible it's an accident, but if it was an accident, why the need for the cover-up?
Key West police have concluded their own internal affairs investigation and decided to discipline 2 of the officers. One will get a 5-day suspension without pay for making inappropriate comments about Eimers, and the other a letter of reprimand for unauthorized vehicle pursuit. Police stressed that neither action had anything to do with Eimers' death.
All right, Elaine. Once again, the videotape tells a different story than the official version that was put out there publicly.
And what the police chief says is, look, you're talking about officers who are trying to remember things from about a year ago. So that was what he said in response to why are there different accounts, perhaps.
All right. Thank you, Elaine. To be continued.